Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Firdaus bin Khairul, and me and my groups are going to talk about how we as a teachers can test our students' skills for speaking. So in this video, we are going to discuss about how to test the student speaking skills, how to test it, how can it be tested, why it should be tested, how examples of how this test can be conducted, and lastly the challenges that we will face during the test. So in my part, I'm gonna be talking about why, how, and what to assess during the speaking test. There are a few components that a speaking test should be assessing, which is the first one is the fluency. The fluency here means that how smooth the students are speaking. For example,
Tell me about your hobby.
I love playing football. Um, uh, Playing football is the best. Um, I usually play during the evening because that's the only time that I have, because after school actually I play football. Yeah, that's all. Alright, so the next thing that a speaking assessment should be assessed is vocabulary. So for vocabulary, we are going to test how wide the students' range of knowledge for vocabulary in English. So if they keep repeating the same word over and over again, that means they have a shallow knowledge about vocabulary. So if they keep changing the words, they don't using the same words, then they will get the higher marks. So that's why that is what we meant by testing vocabulary. The last thing that should be assessed during the speaking test is how effectively the students conveyed their ideas or to the examiner or the teachers. This is very important because some of the students can speak very well. They speak very smooth, but the main problem is that they speak too many rubbish. There's nothing particularly useful in their during their explanation. So that's why how effectively they convey their ideas to the examiner is very important to assess. So in Malaysia, it is proven that our students, high school students, even university students, they can speak, they can write. Our students can write very well, but the main problem is that they can't speak that well. So the main purpose of this speaking test is to test their speaking skills, whether is it up to par or not. Alright, so that's it for my part, and I will let my other groupmates to explain more about it. So thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurshafiqah. My metric number is 053484 and I'm from TESOL 5P. So for my part, I want to explain about how to assess student on speaking assessment. So teachers can use any speaking activities such as role playing, group interview, telling about themselves, or maybe storytelling. Yeah, storytelling. So this kind of activities really helps them or encourage them to speak, because speaking assessment are including fluency, pronunciation, um, the use of grammar, vocabulary. So all of these aspects are really related to speaking tests. It also helps students to be more, to gain more self-confidence, to talk in front of crowd, in front of lots of people. So that's why. And from what I have searched, the teachers must avoid students from reading, because speaking is it's including the eye contact, the way you speak, how you talk with people, like your body language is really important. So the teachers must avoid students from reading via notes or any reading materials during assessing speaking test or speaking assessment. So yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Aina Nadhirah binti Khairul Hisham. My matrix number 054364 and I'm from TESOL 5B. So I'm going to talk on some examples of questions to test speaking skill. Before that, I would like to share one way to assess student speaking ability, which is a teacher-administered speaking test. A teacher-administered speaking test is generally preferable for younger and lower-level students, or for those who don't have access to an IELTS or TOEFL testing location. When giving a speaking test, it is important to pay attention to the English fluency level of the answers and not necessarily the difficulty of the questions. We will take a look on how a beginner ESL students and advanced ESL students might answer the same question. So student number 1 will be a beginner ESL student and student number 2 will be an advanced ESL students. The teacher questions is, what is your favorite sport? What is your favorite sport? Student number 1 answered basketball. And student number 2 answered, that is an interesting question. When I was younger, my favorite sport was swimming, but now I prefer basketball. So we can see how second students acknowledge the questions and then provided context for his answer. This example is intended to show how not asking difficult questions is the best way to assess students' speaking skill. So I will provide you 5 examples of questions to ask your students for speaking test. Number 1, what is your favorite subject in school? Number 2, why are you studying English? Number 3, how did you travel to school? Okay, when students answering speaking tests, they should elaborate their answers. One words or yes or no answer are unacceptable. No one expects ESL students to speak perfectly, but they should be easily understood. The goals of speaking test is to assess pronunciation, vocabulary, comprehension, fluency, and grammar. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Asma, binti Zainal Abidin. So I will be talking about the challenges, problems and issue in testing this speaking skill. So my friends Aina and Nurshafiqah have already talked about how they will assess the speaking skill. So Nurshafiqah will be conducting speaking activities, which is role plays, interview, pronunciation and grammar. So one of the problems and issue from doing role plays and interviews is that students may face lack of confidence, because this is a group work, a group activity. So there may be some student who cannot be in the same group with other students in speaking, so they will be less confidence to talk, especially in foreign language. So that is one of the first issue. So next is there may be intuitive evaluation on this assessment. It means that the teacher will look only at the high level students that has better performance. So the benchmarking of this assessment is not formal. So there may be some lack of reliability in this testing. So some of the students may be from good English background, and some may be not. So if we mix them together, so there may be some lack of performance in the activities. So we cannot get a good result from the marking and assessing. So next from Aina, Nadhirah, about asking questions, simple questions. So it's not about asking simple questions and how do they can answer the question. Actually, it focuses on how they can answer the question. But some of the students, they can't even understand the questions that are asked. Even the simple questions like what is your favorite sport. Some of students who have less exposure on English background, they may not be able to answer the simple questions, even the simple questions. So that is some of the problem and issue in testing this speaking skill. So that's all from me. Thank you.